everybody. My name is Cumming, and I am the founder and president of Dyslexic Together. So thank you for coming tonight. First of all, I'm not going to ask anybody to raise their hand. I'm not going to ask anybody if they're dyslexic. And I'm not going to embarrass anybody. The only person going to be embarrassed tonight, you guessed it, me. So tonight I'm going to tell a little bit about my story. I'm going to talk about dyslexia a little bit, show you some tools, and we'll have a little Q&A at the end. Four years ago, I typed in, I can't read, write, or spell in Google. And this simulation came up. And as you can see, all the letters are moving. And underneath it, there was a caption that said, a friend of mine described what it was like to be dyslexic. I went, what does dyslexic mean? So I looked up dyslexia, and the definition is something like somebody who has trouble reading, writing, and spelling. And at that point, I got a little upset. Because at that point, I realized that I had a condition, dyslexia. I started to look for resources and information, and I found very little. Most of the information that I found was for children. So then I still got upset. And I didn't want to tell anybody that I was dyslexic my whole life. My whole life, I felt like I was stupid. There was nobody to tell me anything different. Because I don't want to tell you that I can't read, write, or spell. Because right off the bat, you're going to make an assumption that maybe he's not very smart. But I just stayed working. I had bills to pay. I had mortgage to pay. So I wouldn't tell anybody. I also had to keep my job. I didn't want to lose my job. So let's talk about the most common type of dyslexia. The most common type of dyslexia is called phonological. So it's phonological trouble. What that means is that when I read, I don't understand the sounds, or my hearing doesn't pick up the sounds, and they don't pick up the letters. So when I'm reading, I get to the end and I don't understand what the sentence just said. In my hand, I have a spark plug. It takes 20,000 volts to bridge this gap. Inside our brains, we have all these little electrical impulses called neurons. They're the roads and highways in our brain. So for me, the left side of the brain, those neurons don't connect when it comes to reading and writing. One thing that the brain does do, though, is when I'm reading, it'll take a different route than just the left side. So it's sort of like before GPS. Before we had GPS, my wife would say, "Where you going?" And I'd say, "Taking a long way home." Well, that's the way it is when I read. When I read, it takes a different path. So here I have a fouled spark plug. That's the left side of my brain. As you can see up on there, we have a non-dyslexic brain and a dyslexic brain. So foul plug. I'm running on one cylinder at this point instead of three. This is like you hear a car going down the road and it's backfiring. That's what my brain does. It backfires and it only runs on one cylinder. But the right side, it's like brand new. Problem solving, mechanical, turbocharged. Right side of my brain is very sharp. So that's like a brand new spark plug. So let's take phonological trouble. This is what you see when you read. But when I read, this is what I read. I see missing letters. I see missing words. So when I read, I come to the end of the sentence and I say, I didn't understand that. So I'll automatically reread the same line again 2 or 3 times until I get the word and I get the meaning of the sentence. And this doesn't happen once a month, or once a week, or once a day. This happens every single time I read, write, or spell. Phonological problem. Phonological trouble. So I've been a mechanic my whole life. I've run machinery. I've repaired machinery. And tonight, I brought one of my toolboxes with me. So let's see what's in my toolbox. Got a bolt and a wrench. Right tool for the right job. Phillips head screwdriver and a bolt. Right tool for the right job. Flathead screwdriver. The right tool for the right job. But you can use multiple tools to get the same job done. My newest tool. My smartphone. Smartphone has changed my life. It has taught me spelling, reading. It's made my life so much easier. So let's go over a couple of the tools. So as soon as I tap on the bar below to text somebody, the bar above, as soon as I start to type, it gives me options on the top. I can recognize words. I just can't spell them. So when I recognize a word, boom, I just hit on it, and it starts to spell for me. The next tool. As you can see, back in November, I was in the Verizon store. And I asked the kid that was there, he was early 20s. I said, is there something on the phone that can help me with spelling when I'm texting? And he said, yeah, it's right there. I said, it is? He goes, yeah. Before you, let's see here. This isn't it. So before you tap on the screen to bring up texting, it has just this microphone that is outlined. But as soon as you tap to text, you'll get the solid microphone. He said the solid microphone will actually write for you when you talk into it. Sure enough, I hit the solid microphone, and it starts texting for me. He goes, the other one is for voice recording, and you can record your voice and send it. Well, I kind of knew about that, but I never wanted to touch it because guess what? I don't know how to get back if it screws up. That's one of the biggest hassles that I have. So I hit it. It recorded my voice, and I was like, this is a great feature. I happen to like seeing what I'm writing, so I like the one that when you speak into it, it actually writes out the message for you. So next is the text-to-speech. And this is for Android, by the way, Android phones. This is text-to-speech. So this will read your whole page. And the way you get this on your phone is you go to settings. I'm going to bring it up myself. So you go to your settings, and then you scroll down until you hit accessibility. The next one should be accessibility. There it is. So you go to accessibility, you click on accessibility, and then the select the speech will come up. So you select that, and then this one says in use. It might say the other, it might come up as apply, something like that, depending on the phone. You just click on the service, and next thing you know, this little person shows up. So what I like about this feature is that you can start and stop with the bar down below. So it'll read your page. You can back it up, you can forward it, you can play it. So it's really good for when you're reading that one page. Now, if we could just back it up to this talkback feature, which I don't use, this is for somebody who is blind. They can set this up. When their phone rings, it'll just automatically start to read all the text. I find it a little more difficult to work with because when I hit it to stop it, it really doesn't stop very easy. It just wants to read the whole page for somebody. So you can play with this one. You might like this one. I like the other one. It's just a better feature for me because I like to start and stop. So that's those two. That's what's built into your Android phone. Now, Pam's going to come up, and she's going to help me out and talk about the iPhone. Pam. Thank you.
So much like Scott's, there is also a little microphone at the bottom of the iPhone right down here. So if I hit that and I talk, then my text is going to show up in the little message field. Now there is also the option of the iPhone to just do an audio speak into it, and then your voice will record and be sent to it. So we have that. And then when you're done with leaving the talking into the phone, you just hit the keyboard and it will go back to your text or your notes in this case. And then there's also the option that Scott's going to show you to set this up. So you're going to go to Settings, then Accessibility. I think it's on the next page. And then what you're going to do here is you hover over the text, and once you set this up under Settings, Accessibility, Spoken Content, and Speak Select, you select the text, and then you're going to highlight it, you're going to hit Speak, and then it's going to read the text to you.
That's it?
Yep.
Perfect, thank you. Back before Christmas, probably around November, I came into the library, and Kyle, one of the librarians, was sitting at the desk. And I told him who I was. I mentioned to him that I was dyslexic and that I would like to set up for audiobooks. He said, definitely. He goes, I can help you with that. Do you have a library card? I said, well, I was here 25 years ago. He said, okay, let's look you up in the system. So he looked me up in the system, and I was in there. He said, but I got to give you a library card. So this is the library card. They have a couple different kinds here. So he set me up with a library card. He grabbed the phone, and he started to download Libby. So he put Libby in my phone, and I asked him, can you put it on my Chromebook? And he said, yes. So he went and he installed it into my Chromebook. Next thing I know, I have audiobooks. It changed my life. I knew about audiobooks 10 years ago, but I never knew how to download them. I tried one app before, couldn't get it to work. And again, you don't want to ask anybody because you feel stupid. So I downloaded it. One of the first books that I downloaded was Dyslexic Advantage. And after I got done listening to it, I said to myself, that had such great information, I have to buy the book. So there's one specific paragraph in this book that really struck me. So I'm going to go ahead and read a paragraph to you. Dr. Fred Epstein showed a sustained interest only in mechanical activities, etc., etc. Initially, he was rejected by all 12 medical schools, etc., etc. You guys didn't really think I was going to read this, did you? Pam's going to come up and read this for you so you can understand it. Thanks, Pam.
When he was young, pioneering neurosurgeon Dr. Fred Epstein showed a sustained interest only in mechanical activities, like building elaborate model airplanes. Because of his dyslexia, Epstein barely made it through college and was initially rejected by all 12 of the medical schools in which he applied. However, as an adult, Epstein developed many new and highly innovative surgical techniques for treating previously inoperable spinal cord tumors, techniques that saved literally thousands of children's lives. It's important to realize that when Epstein was devising these techniques, he wasn't using skills he picked up in some classroom, but the skills he developed at his workbench in the garage, building model airplanes. To identify our next generation of talented engineers, inventors, and physicists, we shouldn't be using pencil and paper talent searches or seeing who's fastest at the Mad Math Minute. We should be searching for spatial prodigies in Lego stores and hobby shops, just like athletic scouts hang around ball fields. Many of our next generation's great material reasoners are currently struggling in school while their talents are going unrecognized. And we owe it to them to pay closer attention to the ways that they typically develop.
Thank you, Pam. So I'm looking for this person. This person is pushing a broom, working in a factory. Society has dubbed them as stupid. And they're going home and they're working in their workshop or their garage or their cellar, and they're developing something that could change our lives. So that's why I'm looking for this person. I'm going to let them know that they're not alone, and I'm there to help them. So Kyle couldn't make it tonight. Kyle was going to come and do a presentation for us, but he couldn't make it. He had other arrangements, but he was kind enough to send us his presentation of how to download audiobooks with the Libby app. So we're going to show you.
Hello everyone, I'm Kyle Costin. I'm a library aide here at the Randall Library, and today I'm going to show you how to reserve and take out audiobooks using Libby. Libby is our online client for reserving audiobooks and ebooks, and it is available on the Google App Store, on the iPhone App Store, and you can also get it on your laptop. So when you first install and sign into Libby, this is the screen you're going to see. It's going to ask you if you have a library card, which if you met with us before this event, you should have. So you're going to click the yes box or poke the yes box with your finger. Then it's going to ask you what library you are. So you'll hit this second option here for search for a library. So Stowe is part of the Minuteman network. So we're not actually in here as our own library. So you want to go into the search bar and type Minuteman. And by the time you finish typing that out, this little box will come up. And this is our library network. This is how you're going to be able to access all of our stuff. So you'll go ahead and hit that box. And then you will come to a screen like this. And then you're going to go ahead and hit this box again to confirm that you are a Minuteman Library patron. And there you are. You are going to have to sign in. So to sign in, your username / card number is going to be the barcode, the number under the barcode on the back of your library card. So you'll put that into this box here. And then your password, if you haven't changed it, should be the last 4 numbers of your barcode. So you'll take that and you'll put that in the password box here. And then you are signed in. So this is the landing page for Libby. This is what it looks like when you first get in there. We're going to search for a book. So we're going to go to the bottom of the screen and we're going to tap the little magnifying glass right here. And that'll bring you to a screen that looks like this. So we're going to go up here and we're going to search. So Wheel of Time is on Amazon right now. It's a great show, and you might want to check out those books. So we will type in the author of that book's name, Robert Jordan, last name first. So Jordan, Robert, and this is what we get. So you can see there's a mix of things here. There's books. It tells us what part in the series it is. It tells us we can read a sample, place holds. But we want audiobooks. So we're going to go to the top here, this little plus sign next to preferences. We're going to hit that plus sign. And it's going to ask us for our preferences. So we're going to go to format. and then we're going to change it to audiobooks, the third one down. Now it looks something like this. So these are all audiobooks. It tells us how long they are. It tells us what part of the series they are. It gives us a little picture. We want the first one, so we're going to go to Eye of the World right here, and we're going to tab that. And we're going to, because it's not available, but we still want it, we're going to place a hold on it. So we're going to press place hold, and that'll bring us to a screen like this. It's going to ask us if we're sure. And so we'll hit this big pink button, and it also tells us how many copies there are, how many people want it, and how long it's going to take for us to get it. So we'll hit place hold, and we are told now if we want to get notifications when it comes in, we've placed a hold on that book. But what if we want to find a book that we know is available, or we want one that we can read right now? Well, there's a couple things we can do. We can change our preferences to audiobooks right here when we go back to the search menu, and that'll make sure that we only see audiobooks. Or we can also hit this button, available now, and that'll only show us things that are currently available. Now, I've been watching Poldark on Amazon Prime, and I think maybe I want to check out those books on audiobooks. So, again, we are going to go to the search bar, and I'm going to type in Poldark. I don't know the writer, but luckily, it shows me the series right here. So I'll hit that, and it shows me all the available audiobooks. Now, before I took this screenshot, already took out Ross Poldark, the first book in the series. So this area is where you would hit, as you can see on this one, is where you would hit to borrow it. But once you've already borrowed it, you can hit this to open it. So again, there's a big pink button. You hit to borrow. And now we're going to go back to our home page. And you can see that the home page, which is that bottom middle button right there, has changed based on things that we've taken out and things that we've looked up. So it's showing us a lot of audio. It's showing us popular audiobooks. It's showing us always available things. It's learning what we like, and it's showing us more of what we want. And so we're going to go to our shelf. So the shelf is where everything you have on hold or everything you've taken out is. And it's this bottom button that looks kind of like a stack of books. You're going to tap that, and it'll show us what we have. So you can open the audiobook here. When you do that, you can listen to it. Or if you decide you don't want it, you can return it on the Manage Loan button here. And then when you get there, you can hit the play button. You can start listening to this masterpiece. Or, say you have your holds. You can go up here and check your holds. Remember, we put the Eye of the World on hold. We think 10 months might be too long, so we can go to Manage Holds here, and we can either suspend it until we think we have more of a chance of getting it, or cancel it. And that is everything. That's how you can get audiobooks. Again, Libby has a lot of great features. This is just one of them. If you have any questions, feel free to email the Randall Library at randalllibrary@gmail.com, or you can email me, kcostin@minlib.net. And if you want to come in and visit us or any other library in the Minuteman Network, we can answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
So that was really a great presentation on audiobooks. So on the Android, you go to Google Play, the store Google Play, and then you can get the Libby app from there. And the iPhone is the Apple Store, where you can get the Libby app on there. Kyle is here at the library to help you. Obviously, tonight, you're not going to set that up, but if you have any problems, you just tell him you were here. And he's more than willing to help, and I'm sure that anyone else here at the library is more than willing to help you download these apps and get audiobooks up and running for you. It's free, and like I said, it changed my life, so I would take advantage of it. So I have a couple of announcements before I finish, because I just talked about Kyle. So these tools, they're all free on your phone. I have other tools that I couldn't talk about tonight for your laptop. There's Google Docs is a great speaking tool on that. For emails, I found another one on your laptop that will actually write emails for you that you don't have to switch back and forth. But that, again, that'll be another presentation that I'm going to do. All these tools aren't perfect. You still have to look at them and check them, not for the spelling, but for your voice. Sometimes it picks up a different word on your voice. And it doesn't put punctuation. It does, but it doesn't. So you have to look at the punctuation and just check that out. But it has made my life so much easier, especially for the spelling. You know, you're there and you speak and it spells a word that you haven't figured out how to spell. Older phones. Some of these features may not be on some of the older Android phones. I don't know how the Apple phones are, but just be aware that it's, it might not, all these features might not be on your phone. And I told you about the Libby, the store to get the Libby app. On May 13th at the community center, I will have another presentation that is the exact same one that we're doing tonight. I'm looking for volunteers. I need some help with web design, WordPress specifically, to change content. I could use someone that can help me with that. I could use social media, somebody who knows social media, and also making videos. We want to make some videos on some of the content that we had tonight and post them. So if you know somebody with video experience, that would be great, and I would work with them. In the back is a sign-up sheet, so if you could leave your name, phone number, and email address, that would be great. I just want to thank Randall Library for letting us use the space, Jonathan from Stowe TV, Kyle for making that great presentation, my friend Eric, my friend Pam, and I want to give you the emails that Kyle had mentioned. It's randalllibrary@gmail.com. That is on their website. And then kcostin@midland.net. So you can find his email also on Randall Library's webpage. I have handouts at the back of the room. So if you grab a handout, this is, again, just telling a little bit about Dyslexic Together. And then there's also a handout for some of the tools that we discussed tonight, so you can grab one of those. So the reason why I started Dyslexic Together was to start talking about it. Nobody wants to talk about dyslexia. I'm trying to bring small groups of people together so that we can talk and have discussions in their problem areas and how we can improve on communication with dyslexia. I'm also putting tools, as you know, I'm working with more tools. I want dyslexics to be able to have access to as many free tools as possible. It's changed my life. I'm also looking to bring academics and dyslexia together, because when like-minded people come together, they can create some real magical things. The one thing I never want to see is I don't want anyone to ever live like I did, and that is believing they were born stupid. So thank you very much for coming tonight.